Lane Johnson of the Philadelphia Eagles suffered a bad-looking ankle injury in the game last Sunday, and this was alarming right from the get-go because it actually required him to leave the game. Now, before I begin this one, I want to give a shout-out to @305Culture on Twitter, who actually tagged me in Ian Rappaport's post on the update of his MRI, so big thank you there because this injury actually was not on my radar to begin with. Rappaport reported that after Johnson's MRI, sources had reported essentially that he's dealing with a lateral ankle sprain, but it's not expected for him to miss much time. Some other sources have actually gone as far to say that this is actually a grade 1 ankle sprain, and I want to go over that grading system in today's video as well as the anatomy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Nick Gallo and I'm a doctor of physical therapy. With my channel, I take a look at sports injuries and I explain them so that they're a little bit easier to understand. I also go over the relevant anatomy of that injury, and finally, I'll talk about what that person should expect when in rehab. If you like this content and you want to see more of it, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because I will be making more of these videos in the future regarding sports injuries, rehabilitation, and other physical therapy related content. Also, if you have any comments or questions, please leave those in the comment section below. Now we can see here in the injury video that as Johnson is blocking, that right foot seems to just get tangled up underneath of him. Here's our model of the foot and ankle, and so the ankle joint is comprised of two long bones that are going to come down and form either side of it. The first one right here being the tibia, also known as the shin bone, that's going to come down and form that medial malleolus. Then as we go towards the outside here, the fibula bone is going to come down and form the outside portion known as the lateral malleolus. And then finally, as we look inside the ankle here, we're going to see this talus bone, which is going to make up the bottom piece of the ankle joint. For the sake of this video, we're going to focus on the lateral portion because he is dealing with a lateral ankle sprain. And so there are three ligaments that essentially contribute to overall ankle stability. The first one is known as the anterior talofibular ligament. So anterior meaning it's more towards the anterior or front portion of the foot here, and talofibular because it's attaching the talus and fibula together. Then as we move slightly back here, there's the calcaneofibular ligament. Calcaneofibular meaning that it's attaching the calcaneus and the fibula together. And finally, as we move towards the back of the model here, we have the posterior talofibular ligament. And this is posterior, meaning it's on the back portion of the foot here. Talofibular, once again, because it's attaching the talus and fibula together. Now, usually when somebody is going to suffer a lateral ankle sprain, their foot is going to go into a position known as inversion. And anytime a person's foot goes beyond their norm value in this direction, that is going to stress one or multiple of these lateral ankle ligaments. As we look again on the video, it doesn't look like it goes into that classic ankle sprain position, but the foot does get caught up underneath and it could be visualized in another angle or something. But essentially, in order for those ligaments to be implicated, it has to go beyond that norm value. So it's very possible it happened in this injury. We just don't see it on the camera. Although Ian Rappaport said that this is a lateral ankle sprain, there have been some other people essentially posting things that it is a high ankle sprain as well. So I'll go into that briefly. Essentially, when we're talking about a high ankle sprain, there are two ligaments that are essentially their main function is to prevent the separation of the tibia and the fibula together. The first one being right here is known as the anterior tibiofibular ligament, and that goes right in through here. And then finally on the back portion, there is the posterior tibiofibular ligament. Usually for somebody to suffer a high ankle sprain, what they're getting is they're getting a lot of external rotation at the foot, which is going to essentially result in separation of the tibia and fibula bones. I'm not really seeing it on this video either, but it is possible that there is some sort of a rotational component that can cause some stress to those high ankle ligaments as well. As of this time though, it seems like Ian Rappaport and all these other guys that are essentially working with the NFL seem to think that is more of a lateral ankle sprain. So if it is a lateral ankle sprain, then it's just going to affect the ligaments right in through here. So let's go ahead and talk about the grading system here. There are grades 1, 2, and 3. In a grade 1, this is where you're getting stretching of the affected ligament. In a grade 2, you're getting partial tearing. And finally, in a grade 3, you're getting full rupture. In this case, once again, it's reported by some sources that he's dealing with a grade 1, which is absolutely the best case scenario. Usually when someone is suffering a grade 1 ankle sprain, they're going to be out of sport anywhere from about 1 to 3 weeks. So it really depends on how they're feeling in this case. It seems like there's some very good news going around the Eagles camp, so I don't expect him to miss much time. So the fact that some people are already projecting that he could play this weekend is along the lines of a fast recovery for a grade 1 ankle sprain. Anytime we get somebody in the clinic that suffered a grade 1 ankle sprain, essentially what we're going to work on those first few days is we're going to work on that acronym RICE, where R stands for rest, I stands for ice, C stands for compression, E stands for elevation. Then once they start to feel better, we'll work on range of motion and restore normal mobility to that ankle joint. And finally, we can work on strengthening. Once again, since there is no disruption of the affected ligaments, we can be pretty aggressive with this person as long as they're not hurting. So it looks like Lane Johnson and the Philadelphia Eagles caught some good luck here. We wish him the best of luck moving forward. If I happen to hear any updates regarding his case, I'll be sure to update everybody in the comment section. Also, if you happen to hear anything, please feel free to update me as well. Once again, big thank you to @305culture on Twitter for making me aware of this injury. If anyone else happens to see any other injuries and they want me to do a video on it, please feel free to tag me and/or let me know. If you enjoyed this content, I'm gonna go ahead and link another one of my playlists so that you can take a look at some of those videos. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.